That's actually on the water side of line item 32 on the second page, just due to the timing of that. Doesn't, you know, that's kind of indifferent. That's a logistical thing we'll work out. But we have two primary water connections to Milwaukee, one on Oakland and Edgewood, another one on Downer. The Downer pit is being contemplated for reconstruction in the upcoming cycles. And then the Oakland pit is equally as bad, although Milwaukee hasn't been poking us per se to fix it. Obviously, you know, either with the work on Edgewood that MMSD is doing, or any contemplated work on Oakland South, would be a great time to, again, use a little synergy there and get it. Probably with the Edgewood project because it covers both sides of the roadway. So, to that extent, we have no engineering costs or anything like that. It's a relocate. But if you're willing to identify that that's something we should do when the Edgewood project has, I come up with a $500,000 placeholder for that. It may be slightly more than that. We certainly, once we identify that that's something we're going to address, we'll get some more heads on it and hopefully get a better number for you next year this time, or actually next year, sooner than this.
So in the water report, and I know we were going back and forth, it talks about a deficiency on May 7th, we came to the board, and it says Oakland and Edgewood meter pit. It says it needs to be changed to a location that's not in the middle of the road. They should be equipped with blah, blah, blah. And it says that it needs to be done as soon as possible. So you're recommending that if we do reconstruct Edgewood, that would be...
Well, I'm just suggesting that if they're going to be tearing up Edgewood with the MMSD project, it would be synergistic to do that in conjunction with those efforts.
I would support a placeholder in 2020 in the first column.
It's actually 20, it would be, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just because MMSD will be putting the pipe in and doing the road 2021. And so I think it would be that year.
Great, so wherever that is, it makes sense. I know it takes our placeholder essentially combined to 1.2 million versus 750, but we have to look at that.
It's 750 plus 500,000, right? Is that right? You just said 1.2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If you combine 7 and 11, I got 1.2 million.
Yes, thank you. Leslie, what's your point?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing.
Oh,
I'm checking the math.
Okay.
We want to check, see what that does to water rates and stuff. Also staff, and we're throwing all these projects in the 20. I can see Leanne's right at home right now. Like, we got major projects. You got all the, you can only do so much.
That's what, I'll talk about that. I did ask questions in advance, so I was hoping that they would say, like.
Well, again, there's certainly some support we have to do, but that's there's contractor support. It doesn't affect a lot of residents, which is usually the overriding concern when you're working with public works projects is your communication and contact with the residents. So we'll try to coordinate all that and give you more information as we go.
Okay, any other questions? If not, we'll head to the village center, just basically facilities maintenance. It's village center, roof on the village hall. My question is, do we have a schedule, or do you have a schedule that, like replacement of technology or replacement of some small capital items like fleet for roofs and other things that we can share for the following year?
We do not. We can look to develop a schedule that identifies the major mechanical components of all of our buildings and when they were last replaced, and based on best estimates when they may be coming up, but we don't have that at our fingertips right now.
Okay. Okay.
So one of the things that we did for the first time this year, I don't know if you're aware of it, but our building inspectors actually every other year do a full inspection of all of our commercial buildings. We've never done them on our own building. So ask for those reports to get done. So they are rather lengthy. They'll go through, things as common as, oh, this outlet, needs to be fixed, or some more global aspects of them. So my goal relative to the infrastructure of our buildings is to, I want to crawl before we walk, right? Apparently, we haven't done this before. We have a 100-year-old building. So with that, I guess one of the goals just internally for each of our buildings is to have a list of what we know. Like let's start with some basics. Because I really feel it's important to your point, President Rosa and other trustees, to get a better handle on our facilities so that we know how to most appropriately plan for them in the future. So just know that that's something that we'll be working on internally in 2019. So.
I'd like to comment on that. We've spent a lot, over the last 10 to 15 years, regularly, routine, spending money every year for tuck pointing, window replacement, maintaining our building. We have not ignored the maintenance of our buildings. We have invested regularly in the maintenance of our buildings. That's why we got pretty decent, in pretty good shape. Columns out here, so it's not like we've ignored the facilities.
Does Rebecca do you have a copy of that maintenance plan?
No, I don't.
Maybe that would be helpful.
But one of the things, and please, Trustee Maher, don't take my comments to disregard the improvements that have been made.
Right, a lot.
I think it's the fact that I'm wanting to kind of see a combined list.
Right.
So that it's the nature of transition. You've had half of your department heads change over in the last year. And so I want to, and this is something that I say to Mark and the other department heads, for the short period of time I had an honor of working with you in this place, I want to make sure that whoever comes in next has that list readily available. So,
yeah,
no. Thank you for your,
nothing's been done.
correct.
Kind of,
right, thank you for
the Boy Scout roof, Hubbard Lodge, the Women's Club. I mean, there's major improvements.
Is there a document? I
It would be in
remember
our budgets each year.
Right.
But you would compile that from looking at what we approved over.
Oh, yeah. But I do remember.
But you're right, it probably doesn't reflect a planning document where you check off the list.
Right.
So this is another approach that will,
And again, this list, just for your reference, shows a little indication of how much is put on the
Right.
facilities.
yeah.
But I think we can certainly incorporate a certain historical look back as well as a future.
It's just a glimpse. Like I put myself in Trustee Warren and Trustee Carpenter's seat, and I'm like, oh, okay, it'd be nice just to
Or
see.
mine.
Right. Just to see the, or mine. Just to see the snapshot, so you have a barometer of what you've done and where you need to go. That's really
No,
good.
and
That would be helpful.
it's a roadmap and it's very,
Yeah, and I was just wondering, I just remembered that there was some sort of document. That's why I was just trying to see if someone had it. Because I do remember, I thought Chris showed one year, here's the schedule for when some of the elevator and some of the things that were a little bit less.
It's a major,
I just don't know where that
it's
is
a
housed.
commitment on the budget. As we go through this budget, I mean, tuck pointing seems like, it's like your house maintenance. I don't want to pay for a roof here. It's 100,000, it's a major commitment, and you can not do it, but it'll.
It's a good plan.
Yeah,
And so you have identified for us an HVAC or a roof for Village Hall. It looks, if it was identified, it looks like it might be needed in the next 10 years.
I really can't speak to that directly, but it wouldn't surprise me. But we can get additional feedback again.
I mean, it's new, so someone put it on here.
right.
Well, we were asked to take a look at some of the major stuff, so I added a placeholder amount for that. Because we were talking about all future needs, where that falls in the continuum of, 5 years or 7 years, or I don't have that now.
Seems like we could safely put it towards the end,
Yeah.
like 2026, and then adjust as we get more information.
We can do that.
I agree.
Same thing with the village center.
Well, that was in our budget. It has been in our facilities plan, or whatever we have.
Well, last year the board determined that they were going to do a rehab instead of a replacement of that HVAC unit.
And how'd it go?
It hasn't been done yet.
I mean, is it budget
It's funded, yeah.
Yeah.
funded?
We're gonna do it when they don't need the HVAC system.
Right.
So
Oh,
it'll be
okay,
this fall.
so this fall, okay.
Yeah.
So
But
then
at some
we have-
point in time, the whole unit's gonna need to be replaced, just as with Village Hall.
And hopefully that puts
10 years.
it later.
Said 10
Hopefully
years.
Yeah.
10 years.
Maybe drop into 2028 is just again an indication that not to be lost.
Yes.
Would that be acceptable?
Okay, moving on to unscheduled road reconstruction.
Yeah, so this is the map. I've done finance department. Let me tell you what I did. I took the 2020 plan,
Yeah.
I highlighted the roads that were in the 2020 plan, figuring that is 2.3 million. I measured with a rular the number of inches of roads, and then I took some highlighting in the lower southeast, and I started counting up inches, and 7.5 million. Finance department, uneducated, but
Right.
rudimentary.
That's okay, that's all budgeted in 20 years.
Who needs engineers for
It's called budgeting. Forecasting.
So it looks to me like there would be 3 additional equivalent efforts as to what we're scheduling for 2020, which is 7.5 million. My notes is to build that into the model post 2029 and take that $5 million that we currently got in there and maybe raise it to 10, because at that point in time,
12.
you know, we may need to start doing additional mineral overlay and other things as well. So that's my thought. If that's acceptable from just a strategic perspective. If you want to talk about scheduling, getting the projects done within the next 10 years, that is certainly another alternative as well. Or doing mill and overlays in the next year or two to get us through to the 2030s. I mean,
Yep.
it sounds funny when you say 2030s, you know, 2018.
I know, it's so close.
And you know what, that discussion was very, very helpful, because I really, you know, I apologize if I get too focused on the plan, and I, you know, so that was, you know, again, if you want to look at a mill and overlay for some of those sections, perhaps even before you get to the road reconstruction related to the sewer.
I appreciate that, because we also have water mains. So when I asked at the beginning of the meeting, what does this plan encompass? What's the time frame? We've always had that out column, and that does correlate with other debt schedules that we show outside people in CDA, sometimes in our own budgeting, and so Mark, thank you for doing that. Just anything that we know we can quantify, even if it's just that type of estimate based on some, you know, but we know that we're going to have those costs. If I'd rather put something in that reflects that there's going to be cost in out years than nothing, or than, you know, something that's not realistic.
At that point in our long range
Yeah.
plan that we can start,
Yes.
we're at that like transition place. It makes
Right.
complete sense.
And so the same thing with water mains, and I don't know, my question was, if you look at the schedule in 2000, in the out years, there's no water main work with the biennial road program anymore. So that's the question I had, is that I know we have 50 million left in those out years, and I don't see it. Yes.
Yeah. When we look at the second page of the white sheet, that
Is
is,
that, oh, I'm on page 13 of the plan, but okay.
well, page 14 of the plan will do that as well. But you see that, you know, the finance department is projecting being able to move the water utility into the zone of a revenue bond.
Yep.
So the cost during those construction years for biennial roads water reflects the water mains that are currently being proposed to be reconstructed constructed during that
Oh, so
time.
you added them. It wasn't in the original.
Yeah, if it wasn't, it's my apology.
Yeah, that's what I was
It would
saying.
be on the following page when it gets down to the revenue, the second page of the schedule in the draft plan with project costs. If my memory serves.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Nonetheless,
No, it still isn't. So page 13 of our long-range financial plan draft, it has a column called 2030 to 2039. So that is a different
I
column.
don't have the draft in front of me.
It used to just go out for 10 years.
But if you look at page 13 for
Oh.
water capital projects,
So we do see that 950, and that makes sense, but that's
you do
the,
see some work done in conjunction with biennial roads that are now integrated with the southeast sewer work.
I understand that. So my question was, if you look in the column called 2030 to 2039,
Yep,
it's a biennial road program water revenue bonds, like doing the water with revenue bonds,
yep,
and there's nothing there.
okay. Yep,
Are we gonna incur, would we be incurring any costs? We have $50 million in mains